My name is Matt Hallyburton and I'm a potter, and we're in Rutherford College, North Carolina, where the wood kiln's located. I started making some pots in college in a sculpture class. Since then I've started making almost exclusively dinnerware for individuals and for restaurants. I will get the clay and I will measure it out. So most plates that I make require about 3 pounds of clay. I'll throw them on bats so that I can remove it from the wheel without actually touching it. And that'll keep it from warping. It'll maintain its nice round throne shape. And then it has to dry for about a day or two, depending on the weather, before I can trim the back side of it. And then once it's completely dry, at that point, I bisque fire them to around 1820 degrees, and that allows me to pack them up, move them over here to the wood kiln. The glazing's done on the bisque fired pot, and then they're put into the wood kiln for a second final firing. Wood firing does give the pots a lot of extra magic that you don't get in the purely electric oxidized firing, and it's mainly to do with the sort of volatile atmosphere that the pots are fired in. But it also relieves wood ash markings on the firing. So once those ashes land on the pots at a high temperature, they'll melt and leave marks. Especially on the top of this kiln, they get quite a nice amount of wood ash settling on them. And this is a downdraft type kiln, so the flame and the heat will initially go up into the top and then down and leave the chimney out of the floor of the kiln. And at this point in the firing, you can see flame that goes completely through the chimney. I mix every glaze by hand. One of the glazes from this area is wood ashes, clay, and crushed glass. If you use them in varying proportions, they give you different effects. You make it into a consistency that looks like sort of chocolate milk before you dip the pots in it. Or the consistency of buttermilk sometimes is what they describe it as. I make a lot of work for chefs, so they need to be very clean and sort of restrained in order for your food to not look like it's in conflict with the plate. I don't glaze a lot of the back sides of the pots since I go to, great lengths to get good clay. I like to leave that exposed so that you can see it. Nowadays, I get most of my clay from Starworks Ceramics. Before they were around, you couldn't get North Carolina clay without going out and digging it yourself. I'm from North Carolina. I would prefer to use clay from this region. With the piece of pottery, it will literally be around for thousands of years. So if you're going to go to the lengths to make it, you might as well do it as the best you can. When I tell a chef about how this all comes about and how the pots are made, I think it lends a special character to the entire dining experience. They're going to great lengths to source the best ingredients for their food. Why wouldn't you go to the lengths to get the best plates you can get made by somebody that really cares about what they're doing, and they're not just trying to manufacture plates just to put them out there.